and use the sermon that I was preparing to do last week, which makes things a lot easier. But the biggest reason why I wanted to continue and use the one from last week is because I want to make sure that we cover all of the gifts that we have begun to talk about, because I want you all of us together, to be listening to how the Spirit of God is speaking to us, teaching each of us how God is empowering us to be fully who we are as image bearers, as people who carry the power and the love of who God is in this world and now, and how each one of us, carries this gift, this power. So today, we're talking about the prophetic gift, the gift of prophecy, or to the prophet. And at the time that I was writing it, it was also the week of that we recognized Martin Luther King Jr. So I have several quotes from that because he's a more recent prophet in our time, and also he just said some really beautiful, powerful, convicting things. And he made one in particular that I'd like to begin with about community, and he wrote it from a jail cell. And to have the kind of hope and understanding and the sense of the presence of God in that situation is just, to me, such a powerful witness of God in him and in the people that he was with, empowered to help bring justice to this world. So he said this about community. He says, in a real sense, all life is interrelated. All people are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single moment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be. And you can never be what you ought to be until I am what I ought to be. This is the interrelated structure of reality. What each of us does matters. What each of us does not do matters as well. 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 12 to 31 explains this pretty explicitly. The human body has many parts, but the many parts make up one whole body. So it is with the body of Christ. Some of us are Jews, some are Gentiles, some are slaves, some are free, but we have all been baptized into one body by one Spirit, and we all share that same Spirit. Yes, the body has many parts, not just one part. If the foot says, I'm not a part of the body because I'm not a hand, that does not make it any less part of the body, does it? And if an ear says, I'm not a part of the body because I'm not an eye, would that make it any less part of the body? If the whole body were an eye, how would you hear? Or if your whole body were an ear, how would you smell anything? But our bodies have many parts, and God has put each part just where he wants it. How strange a body would be if it only had one part. In fact, some parts of the body that seem weakest and least important are actually the most necessary. All of you together are Christ's body, and each of you is a part of it. Some are apostles, some prophets, some teachers, etc. Are we all apostles? Are we all prophets? Are we all teachers? No. Do we all have the power to do miracles? Do we all have the gift of healing? Of course not. So you should earnestly desire the most helpful gifts. But now let me show you a better way of life. None are more important than the others, right? Still, each are important, necessary. And prophets Except we do hear, Jesus says in Matthew, prophets are not without honor except in their hometown. It's not easy to be a prophet. Abraham Heschel says this about a prophet. The prophet is one who bears testimony to God's concern for human beings. So the concern of prophets is what God's concern is for human beings. Prophets know God's will, are disposed to be particularly attuned to God's heart in a matter. They challenge the dominant assumptions we inherit from the culture and question the status quo. They can really be bugs. They can bug a lot of people. But they see the status quo as the masses maintaining a shared delusion. I like the way that's stated, but that also reveals why it's often hard to be around prophets as well as to be one. John 1, verses 6 through 8 said, "There came a man who was sent from God. His name was John. He came as a witness to testify concerning that light, so that through him all might believe." He came to testify to the light. He himself was not the light. He came only as a witness to the light. And what happened to John? It didn't go so well for him. James is in verses 21 and 24 says, "Therefore get rid of all moral filth and evil that is so prevalent, and humbly accept the word planted in you, which can save you. Do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says. Anyone who listens to the word but does not do what it says is like a man or woman who looks at the face in a mirror, for they look at themselves and on going away immediately forget what they look like." I like the Message translation of this. Makes it a little bit, to me, more real in using